We're back at it again, day 3 of 2026 NFL free agency, and we're live on this Wednesday, March 11th. Welcome into the show, everybody. My name is Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day and being a part of our NFL free agency coverage. Of course, there's been a lot of news breaking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but this is always a really exciting day on top of Monday when you get that initial wave because the new league year is officially underway right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially the 2026 NFL season. And so we've seen a lot of these moves become official. We've seen some players get released like a Kyler Murray, a Kirk Cousins officially. We'll see what happens with the player like Brandon Ayuk. And we're also seeing some additional signings, some additional roster moves, like some players getting cut in order to open up some cap space. And so whatever news comes in, we'll, of course, talk about it right here on the show. Producer Chip producing the show once again. He's on the ones and twos. My name is Chase Sr., of course, your host. And we got people rocking with us from every pocket of America and worldwide. One of the big recent moves that we just saw happen, Bradley Chubb signing with the Buffalo Bills. So a really good pass rusher is off the market. For teams who were interested in Maxx Crosby, obviously that trade fell apart. It got nullified because of the failed physical. If they continued to be out on Maxx Crosby, they could have been looking at a player like Bradley Chubb, kind of in that next tier at the edge rusher spot. Honestly, getting a pretty good contract for where he is in his NFL career. Buffalo Bills definitely need to bulk up their pass rush a little bit, and they're doing that with Bradley Chubb on a 3-year deal worth up to $52.2 million. We are, of course, live on the San Francisco 49ers Report. We are live on Philadelphia Eagles now. We'll bring you some videos coming up here in just a moment, doing some segments. No rush really to get to that because we just put videos on both channels. But the 49ers have brought back Jake Tonches on a 2-year deal. They also brought back Sam Okuwanu. So the Niners a little bit busy there. It's expected that they're going to release Brandon Ayuk, and the expectation is that he's going to sign with the Washington Commanders, as I talked about a little bit earlier today. And then for the Philadelphia Eagles, I was talking earlier this week how they lost Jaelan Phillips. To pivot off of Jaelan Phillips and go after Jonathan Greenard was a part of my plan for the Eagles. And according to Diana Rossini, the Eagles are very interested in trading for Jonathan Greenard. They've been in contact with his agent. And if they do trade for him, it looks as though Philadelphia is fine with signing him to a contract extension. He's under contract for the next 2 years at $19 million per year. They were offering Jaelan Phillips $20+ million. I imagine Greenard would be something in that realm, but obviously that is something to look out for as well. A shout out to the recent commenter club on Niners. I see Melly, Jonathan, Cardi, Stay Blessed, Dylan in the chat. And then on Eagles now I see Uchicha, Shane, Focus, D-Man, Brandon in the building as well, in addition to Donald Knight. I saw that comment slide in. So you see the box down below me. We're doing something special here for the rest of the hour. So for 18 minutes, you can get $10 off of all of our merch. If you'll watch the Philadelphia Eagles Now show a little bit earlier today, you saw that we just dropped these Howie season shirts. And we dropped them for $29.99. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get them $10 off of that price right now. Howie Roseman pulled off highway robbery, in my opinion, in signing Woolen, and it's always Howie season because he's always making great moves in order to make this Eagles roster as good as possible. So, for 18 more minutes, $10 off of these Howie season shirts, which we just launched, and everything else on the Eagles shop. Chatsports.com/Eagles shop. And then, Chip, do you have that link, Howie season, as well? It's chatsports.com/Howie season if you want to use that specific link for that Howie season shirt. And then on the 49ers Report, there's that Howie season shirt, chatsports.com/Howie season. If you make a purchase right now, I will give you a shout out here on the show. On our Niners shop, chatsports.com/49ers shop. Everything is available, $10 off there for the next 17 plus minutes. 49ers Report shirts, F Seattle shirts, our Dub City collection, whatever you want on our Niners side, chatsports.com/49ers shop. Here's a look at the F Seattle shirt, the Dub City hoodie, 49ers Report hats also available. So you can get all of your merch right now, $10 off, limited time only. This deal lasts for the next 16 plus minutes as we're under 17 minutes to go on that. I'm going to pop up my notification dashboard here and take a look to see if we get any purchases here. We did have somebody get a Howie season shirt a little while ago. Let me give a shout out to that person if I can find it here, because we've had a lot of purchases across the Chat Sports umbrella. Let me see if I can find it. If not, if you make a purchase starting right now, $10 off of our shop, I'll give you a shout out here live on the show, day 3 for our free agency special. You saw that Jordan Elliott contract, 2 years, $8.5 million, leaving the 49ers to follow Robert Saleh to play with the Tennessee Titans. Last night, of course, the Eagles deciding to bring back Grant Calcaterra. They also signed Johnny Mundt, who's a really good blocking tight end. So a lot of action all across the league. And, of course, what is going to happen with Maxx Crosby? Is he going to play for the Raiders in 2026? Is he going to get traded? For teams who were interested in Crosby prior to him getting traded to Baltimore for what was at the time 2 first-round picks, one in 2026, one in 2027, with Crosby now being available once again and the Ravens backing out of that deal, will teams be interested still in Maxx Crosby, knowing that he did not pass his physical as he got the meniscus surgery following the season? Shout out to James Plunkett getting an Eagles Now shirt.
Yeah.
$10 off. What a guy. What a guy.
Also, everybody, just so you are aware, because I know some people get confused, it'll show the $10 off once you put it in your cart.
Yes.
You might get confused and look at it and say, oh, it's not $10 off. As soon as you put it in your cart, you'll see that. So just so y'all know.
Oh, is James Plunkett getting a Howie season shirt?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. George Class, Howie season shirt in the Kelly green. Chris Hernandez, Eagles Now t-shirt in the Kelly green. What else we got? Our Raiders show launched these F the Ravens shirts because of the Ravens backing out of the Maxx Crosby deal. I think we sold like 70 of those shirts in the first 45 minutes because Raiders fans are so pissed off right now. So a couple of Eagles Now purchases coming in. What I want to continue to do is design great shirts for our audience. And so I linked up with our design guy, Arnold, if we want to pop up the Howie season shirts once again. And we came up with this design because Howie is maybe the best general manager in all of professional sports. I think he's the best GM in the NFL. He does such a great job of extracting great value, whether it be in free agency, with trades, moving up in the draft, compiling draft picks. So Howie season is not just during free agency. It's during free agency. It's during the draft. It's during the season when he makes a move. It's during the offseason if he makes a trade. I think it's an awesome, awesome design. Chatsports.com/Howie season. And if you buy one, we're giving you shout outs to everybody making purchases. Raymond getting a Dub City short sleeve t-shirt. Jonathan Perry, 49ers Report t-shirt. I want to see some Howie season shirts come in here. Get them going like crazy. Keeping my eye on the dashboard here. So, for instance, $10 off for the next 12 and a half minutes. 49ers Report t-shirt went for $19.74. That's with shipping included. The Howie season shirts just dropped, and we're going $10 off already. All right, let's get to a super chat here. Faithful to the Bay, $2. If the Niners trade for Maxx Crosby, what happens with Mykel Williams? Nothing happens with him. Nothing changes. He could play defensive end. He could play defensive tackle. That's why going into the deadline when Mykel Williams was still healthy, I was talking about how I wanted the Niners to make a move at the pass rusher spot because they have flexible players who are versatile up front. Nick Bosa can play defensive end or defensive tackle. Robert Saleh was experimenting with that early in the season, and Bosa was balling. That's why it was such a shame he got hurt so early against Arizona. It's week 3. Weeks 1 and 2, he was great. Mykel Williams can play defensive end or defensive tackle. You make a trade for Maxx Crosby, Bosa, Mykel, and Maxx can play defensive end. They can play defensive tackle. It's part of the reason why I like what the Niners do up front, because it's a malleable front and it's scheme versatile. And what I also like about Raheem Morris is that he's coached a 3-4. He's coached a 4-3. He came up in the early 2000s learning that famous Tampa 2 defense when he took over for Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley is a Vic Fangio disciple. It's more of a 3-4 front, hybrid, but 3-4 to its core. Raheem Morris took over for Staley, won a Super Bowl with the Rams with a defense that he had to adjust to. And when you as a coach adjust to the defensive scheme, you're also catering to the personnel on the roster. Jim White, Howie season shirt. He got a black one. Let's go. So merch our leaderboard through 345. I want either the 49ers Report or Eagles now to climb up this leaderboard here. Raiders Report trucker hat, 18 sold this hour, and we went live just a little bit ago. So we're trying to catch up here. We can do it. F the Ravens shirt, 17. Vikings Now t-shirts, 12. Raiders Report t-shirts, 11. F the Ravens t-shirt for our Raiders channel, 11. Cowboys Report t-shirt, 8. Caleb Williams shirt, 7. Steelers Talk t-shirt, 6. Raiders Report hoodie, 5. Giants Now t-shirts, 4. Get those Howie season shirts up that leaderboard. And, of course, some 49ers Report gear as well. Some of those numbers didn't get tallied because they just came in. But let's climb up that leaderboard with 9 minutes to go. $10 off all merch.
Let's go, baby.
Until 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, depending on where you're watching from here. Dat Dude Dez, what is the chance that Trent Williams gets released or traded? I think the reality is the 49ers try to work out a deal with him because they know how important it is to get a deal done with Trent Williams. It's not a great offensive line. He makes it so much better. You lose him, Niners would be screwed. And what is the plan to replace him? Now, if you get offered a second and a third-round pick for a 38-year-old offensive tackle, and you could take an offensive tackle at 27, that'd be kind of intriguing. So I think a trade, Des, makes sense. Releasing him doesn't. I think the dead cap hit if you release him pre-June 1 is like $36 million. Why would you do that? It's only a trade that would make some sense.
Jonathan Perry coming in with a $10 super chat.
Jonathan Perry. Adrian, by the way, got an F Seattle shirt. Good job by Adrian. Jim White got a Howie season shirt. Great job, Jim. Thank you for your support. Got a lot of sales flying in. And again, it's just another way for you to look good, but also support everything that we're doing here at Chat Sports. Here's JP, Jonathan Perry, $10. I feel Crosby would benefit our defense far more than Joey Bosa could. Well, he's so much of a better player, right? I mean, Joey Bosa's had a really good career. He's been a multi-time Pro Bowler, and he's had a lot of success in his NFL career. Unfortunately for the Bosa family, the dad was an NFL player, got hurt a lot. Nick has now had 3 ACL surgeries and a core muscle surgery. Joey Bosa's had a lot of injuries, especially to his feet. But there's levels to this, right? Maxx Crosby's a lot better than Joey Bosa. Maxx Crosby could go down as one of the best defensive ends of this generation. Maybe all time. We'll see. He's going to be 29 years old. Probably needs some more really good years, and hopefully the knee checks out because he's a fun player to watch. But Joey in his own right, Defensive Rookie of the Year 2016, 5-time Pro Bowler, forced fumbles leader in 2025. That's a cool stat. All-American in college. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. 2-time first-team All-Big Ten player. 2-time Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year. So, look, he's had a great career. But injuries have zapped him of becoming the best player that he can be. Now, Nick has been a healthier player in his career, but unfortunately for him, you think about Nick, pretty much has 2 seasons lost already at the NFL level. It's a lot. He won a Defensive Player of the Year, though, in 2022. Joey Bosa never got that. That is the award that you try to shoot for as a defensive player. But Nick lost 2020 because he tore his ACL, what was that, week 2 against the Jets early in the year at MetLife. Awful turf surface, of course. And then got hurt week 3 against Arizona this past year. So it's robbed him of some of his prime years, which I hate to see. Especially with 2 guys in Joey and Nick who you know they take so much care as far as their game, their bodies, their nutrition, their training regimen. It's really unfortunate. Really, really is unfortunate. Jonathan Perry, thank you for that, my man. Little $10 super chat coming in.
Shout out. Francisco's been here all 3 days, man. And said it in super chats all 3 days. Shout out to Francisco Avila. Who else has been here with us all 3 days? Type me if you've been here all 3 days of free agency.
Type me.
Type me. Francisco asked, does Dre Greenlaw make sense to come back? I could see them doing it, but I don't know if he can stay healthy anymore, man. I don't know if you can sign him with the intent of him being a starter for you. Especially, you already have Warner coming off the injury. It's hard to trust Greenlaw at this point to stay healthy. Wow, look at everybody who's been here all 3 days. Greg Smith, Keon Dom. We got Allie. John Wallace.
Johnny Dubs.
What's good? Bunch of people here. David Dool. Big Ant. Chua. Matt the Vegas. Chico. On Eagles. Turquoise Hawk. Xavier the God. Kane Angel. Connor Wilson. Brandon. Deontay as well. Legend over there. Jared. And Donald Knight.
Let's go.
We can do a little recap real quick, I think, of what each team has done. By the way, 3.5 minutes left on that deal to get $10 off all merch. I'm going to throw the links in the chat once more. You want $10 off. This is your last chance. Last chance. Do we climb up? Let's see. Oh, those Ravens shirts, those F the Ravens shirts are selling on Steelers.
Yes, they are. So we've got under 3 minutes to go. $10 off of all the merch. Dustin Jenkins with another Howie season shirt. What else do we have here? Wow, F the Ravens shirts are going crazy. They've turned into the most hated team in the National Football League.
Yeah, there was a report just now from
Jacob Magliano Howie season shirt.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else we got? Adrian with that F Seattle shirt. Good stuff. Good stuff. Get in before the buzzer.
Come on.
2 minutes left. $10 off of all merch for our Eagles audience. You can get a brand new Howie season shirt. We just launched those today. Chatsports.com/Eagles shop.
Links are in the chat. Yeah, so Pelissero reported earlier that other teams have been rubbed the wrong way in terms of doing future business with the Ravens because they feel like it was slimy what Baltimore did. So, just over 60 seconds. Chatsports.com/Eagles shop. Chatsports.com/49ers shop.
Get it going.
$10 off all merch for the next 60 seconds.
Add it to your cart. That's how the $10 off will apply. I think I gave a shout out to Terry Hughes getting a Howie season shirt. If I didn't, Terry Hughes is on the board. What else do we got? We also have our Saints show. They signed Travis Etienne, and they launched some Run ETN t-shirts. They are fresh. They are really fresh.
Joji in the chat. What's going on?
Joji!
All right.
As you can see, floating through some of the moves that have obviously happened over the last couple of days at the top of your screen there.
We can kind of look at stuff that's happened today real quick.
Yeah, you want to mention some of those? I got to
I got you.
Send a message here. I'm having all these Facebook technical difficulties, and the Facebook interface is just absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
And so I've had to go through all of this to try to get my business account linked back with my professional account. It's a disaster. So you can go 2-box chip if you want, so people see a little bit better.
Just going to kind of get to the start of today, or kind of going to last night.
Yeah, into last night's fine.
So we were live for the Nashawn Wright. We kind of signed off around
here. Javon Hargrave, the former Niner and Eagle to the Green Bay Packers. Good pass rushing defensive tackle.
Ooh.
Was let go by the Vikings earlier today.
So some of the bigger moves that happened really over the last, heading into last night throughout today. Elton Jenkins got a 2-year, $24 million deal to go to the Browns from the Packers. Guy that's been talented, but dealing with some injuries on the offensive line. Browns are really rebuilding that. Niners losing to Sky Moore. I saw some people mentioning this in the chat. Underrated loss. Obviously doesn't make a huge impact, at least didn't last year as a receiver, but he was a great returner. So now you got to obviously have somebody else step up in that spot. Junior Bergen, maybe? We'll have to see. But pretty decently important loss there, I think, for San Francisco. He'll be headed to Green Bay. Some other notable ones. Obviously, Reek Woolen. We talked about this. Headed to the Eagles, 1 year, up to $15 million. Great deal for both sides. Really only a 1-year deal. Really no risk there. Some good linebackers headed elsewhere. Caden Ellis going to the Saints. Leo Chenal going to the Commanders. So that's a great deal for Washington. I think Chenal, good player. $8 million a year. when some other linebackers are getting a lot of money. Niners bringing back Garrett Wallow on a 1-year deal. How about Teddy Bridgewater still hanging around back to Detroit? Cam Hayward got an extension from the Steelers. A couple of the Eagles moves that we talked about. Johnny Mundt, Grant Calcaterra, a couple of tight ends. Calcaterra obviously back in Philadelphia. Mundt headed from Jacksonville to the Eagles. Former Niner Jordan Elliott as well. This one happening last night. 2-year, up to $8.5 million deal to head to Tennessee. So he'll be joining up once again with Robert Saleh. Patrick Ricard also following his former head coach John Harbaugh from the Ravens to the Giants. Some other moves here. Logan Hall going to Houston from Tampa Bay. We got Stone Forsythe headed to the Panthers. Sam Howell headed to the division rival Cowboys. Obviously was with Philadelphia, so he'll be a backup there behind Dak Prescott. Real cheap deal here for Darnell Savage to the Steelers. 1 year, vet min, $1.48 million. Super cheap deal there for Darnell Savage. I thought he was going to be pretty good at one point, but that hasn't really turned out quite well. Niners bringing in some of the Eagles fans are very familiar with. Brett Toth, 1-year deal for him. Flipping teams here. You see on screen right there, Trey Hendrickson, man. So the Ravens back out of the Crosby deal. They give Hendrickson a 4-year, officially $112 million deal, $60 million in guaranteed money. So they say, we're good on Crosby. We'll take our guy Hendrickson. We'll see if it pays off for him, man. Oh, my gosh. Chase, you will never believe this.
What's up?
Kelly Oubre out 2 weeks with an LCL sprain. It just doesn't end.
Doesn't end, man.
It just doesn't end. Oh, my God.
Doesn't freaking end.
But Trey Hendrickson headed to Baltimore. Kayvon Chason going to the Commanders. Spent a lot of money on defense, as they should. That defense was awful. How about Daniel Jones? He got tagged earlier in the offseason, but comes to an agreement with Indianapolis. 2 years, $88 million. I think I saw somewhere it can get up to 100 even, based on certain incentives. But Daniel Jones coming off the Achilles gets a bag, baby. Gets a bag. Shout out to Daniel Jones, man. Made a lot of money in his career. Some other interesting signings. Trevis Gibson going to Carolina. We got KJ Britt to the Patriots. Josh Uche, former Eagle, of course, signing with the Miami Dolphins here. Jack Stoll, another former Eagle, signing with the Cleveland Browns. We got Michael Clemens got some decent money, former Jets defensive lineman there with Indianapolis. Indianapolis was reportedly in on a lot of these big-name pass rushers, especially Hendrickson. They weren't able to land him. They go get Michael Clemens here. Chidobe Awuzie.
Chidobe Awuzie. He's a Chat Sports legend.
Legend. He's staying with the Ravens here. We got some long snapper news there. How about that? How about Kevin Byard getting a 1-year, $9 million deal to go to New England? All pro. Leading the league in interceptions. He'll be headed to New England where he teams back up with Mike Vrabel, who coached him in Tennessee. Aaron Jones ends up staying with the Vikings. He was supposed to get cut, but he ends up taking a pay cut instead to stay in Minnesota. Minnesota, rumored to be heavily interested in bringing in Kyler Murray, so we'll see what gets done there. Kyler was officially released today. We got a couple more signings here for Washington. They've been very active. Chigo Okonkwo, tight end. They got Nick Cross, young safety there as well. Ravens bring in former Patriots safety Jalen Hawkins. Niners brought back Jake Tonches, 2 years, $8 million. Cheap contract, pretty decent option there for a backup tight end who we'll see how big his role is while Kittle recovers. Another former Eagle, Azeez Ojulari, heading home, playing for the Atlanta Falcons there. He really didn't do much at all for Philadelphia. One of the big ones today, what's happened not too long ago, Bradley Chubb, the edge rusher, going to the division rival from Miami to the Buffalo Bills. 3 years, up to $52.2 million. So one of the bigger name pass rushers that was on the board no longer. He'll be going to Buffalo. And that is the latest moves that we got.
Cool.
I think there's some other stuff trickling in here, but That is most notable. Javon Hargrave as well. We don't have that in here yet, but Hargrave to the Packers. Let's see. It's a 2-year, $23 million deal for Hargrave. Eagles, boy. Read my last message. What was your last message here?
What was your last message?
Trade DJ Moore, 2nd and 3rd round picks. DJ Moore just got traded to Buffalo. So he's not going anywhere.
Not available.
Adam on Eagles now, or he may be able to get Brisker. Maybe. I mean,
maybe.
He's still unsigned. His market may not be as strong as we once thought.
I think if the Eagles make a move at safety, it's for a player who's a lot cheaper than what Brisker could go for, because I think he's a really good safety. And I keep floating out C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think that makes sense because the Eagles know him. He fits the scheme. He's played really well. He's affordable. You've got C.J., you've got Nakobe, you've got Michael Carter, who the Eagles were cross-training at safety. They renegotiated his deal. Then you draft a safety as well. You've got Sidney Brown. That's 5 safeties right there. So I think it's something along those lines that I think would make the most sense for the Eagles.
What team has had the best free agency so far? So a lot of teams have spent a lot of money, but not necessarily making the best signings. Who has had the best free agency? Raiders. Multiple people saying the Raiders. They're certainly spending money, man. They're certainly spending money. Another one says, unfortunately, the Raiders. Giants, Niners, and Raiders. Mike Evans signing was great value for the Niners for sure. But just a couple depth offensive line signings outside of that. Raiders or Falcons? Falcons obviously got Tua for the minimum.
Yep.
Michael Gonzalez. Raiders might be better than us, saying that on the 49ers report. I'll tell you right now, they are not. They are not better than the Niners. The Raiders could still be trash. But at least they're spending some money. Agree, the Raiders. Keeping Crosby makes it even better. We'll see. I don't know if they can keep Crosby, man. I know the reporting is that they're, planning right now to keep Crosby, but I just don't see how you can really do that after trading him away.
Yeah, that'd
Bills.
be tough.
Would we need to trade 2 firsts still for Crosby or less because he failed his physical? I don't think it takes 2 firsts anymore. I think it's less. I think it's a first, maybe a mid-round pick. I don't think they're getting 2 firsts. They still want 2 ones, but I don't know. Maybe somebody will fork it up. First and third at this point. Yeah, so same poll question on both channels. Should your team trade for Maxx Crosby? On the 49ers report, 67% yes. On Eagles now, 64% yes. So majority wanting to go get Crosby. Obviously depends what it takes. Wet Noodle. Likes the idea that Chase brought up on today's show, trading for Osa Odigizua.
Adigizua. Yeah, that'd be a really fun move for the 49ers.
How expensive would Joey Bosa be? I can't imagine it's that much.
Let's see. If Chubb got that deal, could Joey Bosa get 10 to 12 million a year? I think that's somewhat reasonable. I don't think that's crazy.
Interesting. So, Ravens GM Eric DeCosta's talking to the media right now, obviously after the Crosby trade fell through. And he's claiming that the Ravens were attempting to trade for Crosby and sign Trey Hendrickson. They're saying it wasn't like a pivot, or they chose Hendrickson over Crosby. They wanted both.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
He's saving face. He's saving face.
He's definitely saving face.
Chris Rodriguez Jr. signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brazzy Smacks is in the building. Yo.
Brazzy. What's up, boys? Look like nothing has happened yet in free agency. Yeah, Reek Woolen, Johnny Mundt, bringing back Grant Calcaterra. There's been some moves for the Eagles. We'll see what happens with Dallas Goedert. Could make a trade for Jonathan Greenard.
Jonathan Perry coming in with a $10 super chat here.
What's up, Jonathan? I love the coaching job we did last year, but San Francisco can't limp through like last year every year. No, that's why they got to figure out the health situation with their team. And that's why it drives me crazy that they can't stay healthy. So frustrating.
Did you see the merch leaderboard? We snuck in there with the Howie season shirts.
Snuck in there. How many?
7.
7.
And that might not even be counting a couple that came in at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what, man. Communicating with Facebook is an absolute chore.
Yeah, dude. Facebook's a joke. Carol Hosey. What's going on? Just got home from work. How you doing, Carol? David. Facebook sucks.
It's really annoying.
How about Francisco coming in with another 5? Appreciate it, Francisco.
Francisco Avila at this point. What makes sense for the Niners to do now in free agency? Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks, man. Appreciate y'all for bearing with me. Trying to handle these things as we're live. Look, I think they got to get better with their pass rush. That's defensive end. That's defensive tackle. Linebacker depth, even though they brought back Garrett Wallow. He's a fringe roster type. Safety. And then they've got a backup swing tackle. They have Brett Toth, who could play center and guard and compete for the guard spot. I think this offseason in general, another wide receiver. Brought back Jake Tonches. So I think it's more so like what they'll do in the draft. And then if they really like a safety, I think that would work out really, really well.
Can you toss me the TV remote? I'm supposed to check something. Money. I'm going to turn the monitor off for a second. Oh, no. A couple more supers coming in. We'll get to that in just a second. Titans have had the best offseason. You can win the offseason and then it means nothing. The Bears won the offseason for so many years. Finally, it turned into something this past season. Baltimore signed Hendrickson? Yes. The Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson after pivoting away from Maxx Crosby. What does that say? CSTV?
Yeah.
All right, we had another super chat that came in.
Super chats keep coming in.
Couple more. Steve coming in with a 5.
What's
Thanks.
up, Steve? $5 super chat here.
And then Jonathan Perry.
All I know is I'd much rather see Greenlaw return over Debo. Debo is washed. I agree. The thing is, Debo's kind of over the hill, slowing down a little bit at 30 years old. Dre Greenlaw's a tad younger, but he's got more of an extensive injury history. So both of those signings would really come with a lot of risk. But the upside of Greenlaw, I think, is really high if he could stay healthy. Because last year, when he played for Denver, in and out of the lineup, he was the same Dre Greenlaw that we've seen. Sideline to sideline, speed and physicality, putting fear into the opposition. Being so good against the run.
Got our first super on Eagles coming in from Matt Black. Says F the 49ers. Well, right now the 49ers report is destroying Eagles now in our super chat battle. This is a current look. $41 on the 49ers report, just $5 on Eagles now. And I think the 49ers report has won each of the first 2 days as well.
Yep. $41 on Niners, $5 on Eagles. Get some supers in on that Eagles side. Come on, people. Let's go. We'll talk some Eagles and Niners coming up. Niners made a couple of internal moves, retaining some of their own players, Sam Okuano, Jake Tonches. And then the Eagles really linked to Jonathan Greenard, who, shout out to us, started talking about that on Monday.
Chubby gone. Damn, yeah. Bradley Chubb's off the board.
Bradley Chubb is gone. He is gone.
The Chubb is gone.
The Chubb is gone. All right. I'm almost done sending this message to Facebook. What a fucking joke.
Ugh, Facebook. Keeping an eye here.
Oh, there we go.
Dennis!
Dennis Designs, $50 super chat. That gets Eagles on the board with the bang.
Making it rain and taking the lead. Let's go, Dennis. Let's get beers on. I'll give you a little beer bong here in a second. I'll give you a little beer bong, Dennis. For the 50. Got to do it to him. Shout out, Dennis. Make it rain.
Let's get beers on. Man, I'm tired. I don't know if I can do another beer, dude.
I told Dennis I could get something going.
You got something going?
Dennis, would you rather see a beer bong out of the like Mirbonga or a beer bat? Which one? I don't know if I can do the bat, man. Team USA is depressing us right now. But you let me know, and I can make either one happen. The beer bong or the beer bat? Same amount. It's one beer, but I like the bat. I think the bat's easier to take down. No
if somebody sends in a 100, I'll shotgun.
Oh!
On either stream. Somebody sends in a 100 on either stream, I'll shotgun. Haven't shotgun yet. We've more so been doing the shambongs out of the beer boot. But if somebody sends in a 100, I'll shotgun. F it.
You like the bat? All right, I like the bat too. No Diddy, but the hole on the beer bong is just too small. DeRosa about to choke away the WBC. The fact that he didn't know.
He didn't know the rules. Are you kidding me?
I mean, what are we doing?
Now you're hoping for an Italy win over Mexico. Hard to do. Or Mexico has to score 5 or more runs so that you avoid a disastrous tiebreaker. It would be the first time ever in World Baseball Classic history that the U.S. would go out in this round.
What time is that game? 6 Central, so 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That game is on. And right now, do they have a line on this? I'm curious. Let me see. I wonder what the line is here. So we beat Mexico, but Mexico did mercy rule somebody 16-0 the other day. Yeah, they mercy ruled Brazil. But Italy hasn't lost. Let's see. So we need Italy to win. Mexico is 1.5 run favorites right now. Not ideal. Who do we got on these squads? Italy has Vinny Pasquantino, Jack Caglione.
Aaron Nola pitching is hilarious.
Nola pitching. So we kind of need Nola to just give up a bunch of runs or absolutely shove. Jack Caglione, young guy out of Florida who dominated against Clemson a couple years ago in the road to the World Series in college. Hit like 4 home runs against us in that series that Florida beat Clemson, so I'll always have to hate on him. But, man, Mexico's kind of stacked. Jaron Duran, Randy Arozarena, Alejandro Kirk. Who do they got pitching? Jay Assad. I don't know who that is. Not dead yet. Jonathan Perry with a 5, and then Dennis. I'll go get my beer bat after that.
Bang.
We could bring Greenlaw back in a 1-year prove-it deal. I mean, that's probably what he's going to get at this point. I don't know how you can give him anything else with the injury concerns. Dolphins signing special teamer Zane Anderson. I have a friend named Zane Anderson. It's hilarious. Kyler Murray is flying to Minnesota tonight to meet with the Vikings.
Okay. Vikings and Steelers seem to be the two teams in on Kyler Murray.
Arizona State fired Bobby Hurley.
Wow. Fast fall for him.
Yeah. 11 years. They got just destroyed today by Ohio State. Or, no, who was it? Iowa State. They lost by 50 in the conference tournament. Iowa State's good, but damn, you can't lose by 50. He's out of there. AJ Epinesa to the Birds. That could be a cheap option at edge.
Yep.
Could be an option. Calcaterra signing is awful. I mean, he's not.
We'll see what the money is. He's probably not making anything.
Yeah. At least you brought in another blocking tight end. I think the fans are going to love Mundt, Johnny Mundt, from what I've heard of him. Oh! Dre Day responds with a 50 on the 49ers report.
Let's go. $50 super chat coming in. Dre Day.
Making it rain. He says F the Eagles. We got a battle going on.
I love it.
We got a battle. Shout out to Dre Day with the 50. Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
It's the latest news on Debo from Salvador. I haven't really heard much on Debo's free agency. I don't know if you've heard anything, Chase, but
No, just that Washington didn't really have any interest in bringing him back.
yeah.
That was really it.
How much to take a bong hit, boys? YouTube wouldn't like that one.
No, YouTube wouldn't be a fan of that.
Dre Day, thanks for the 50. We also got another 20 on the 49ers report. Another one from Jonathan Perry.
Jonathan Perry. Another super chat coming in. What a guy.
Let me look at that beer bat real quick.
Cool.
Dennis, I'll be right back.
Day 3, NFL free agency, the official start of the new league year. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to figure out some pertinent issues here as we're live. on a chat with Facebook trying to figure out this bullshit. Chip Beerbat coming up. Jonathan Perry, the $20 super chat. What a legend. What do we got? Texans signing tight end Foster Moreau. Jags 2-year deal with running back Chris Rodriguez. I love how Eric DaCosta, yeah, we wanted to sign Trey Hendrickson and trade for Maxx Crosby. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Another 5 from Terrell Thomas here.
Terrell.
Shout out.
Do you believe the Ravens were trying to pair? That's so funny.
That's so funny, yeah.
So funny that you said that. Yeah, no, I don't believe that. I think it was one or the other. You're talking about a conservative organization that hasn't made a lot of big splashes, that has let a lot of free agents walk because they don't want to pay them, and they were going to trade for Crosby and sign Trey Hendrickson, but it just so happened that they didn't sign Hendrickson day 1 or 2 of free agency. Then what happened was Maxx Crosby didn't pass the physical, and then they pivoted to Trey Hendrickson. You're telling me that was a coincidence? Yeah, okay. I just don't buy it.
I wonder if they had him, because he didn't have to talk to the media today. Like, the Ravens didn't have to set that up.
Oh, it was damage control.
Yeah, they did that specifically so he could say that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hilarious.
So the Chip Beerbat for the 50s that came in.
Let's do it. Any news on Justin Simmons? I haven't thought about Justin Simmons in a while. I haven't heard his name at all.
No, he didn't even play last year.
He might be done. He might be done. He was a hot name last year.
Yeah.
He might be done. How many Chris Rodriguez noties am I going to get, dude? I get it.
Yeah, it's Chris Rodriguez.
Come on now. Also, we got to talk about that 83-point game from Bam Adebayo last night. I mean, I don't know how many people in here watch the NBA.
I mean,
even if you don't.
It's crazy how some people were trying to like downplay it. It's like, dude, he's a center who scored 83 points. Like, what are we doing here? Give the man some credit.
Well, you know what probably happened is a lot of people probably weren't really tuned in very much until he got to like 70 points. And the problem was like the first 70 points that he had, which by the way, even saying that, the first 70, it was legit. Like they just couldn't guard him.
Yeah.
He was getting fouled. Like it was legit. And the problem is a lot of people probably tuned in towards the end to see if he was going to break the record. And then the last few minutes of that game, it was kind of like, all right, what are we doing?
Yep.
I mean, his own teammates were fouling other players on the Wizards so they could get the ball back quicker.
Yep.
His teammates were missing free throws intentionally to try to like. So the end of it was hilarious, but like the large majority of that game, it was a legit scoring night. Bam Adebayo is not known to score the basketball.
No.
And
also hit all the threes that he hit.
Yeah, he hit like 7 threes or
Seven
something,
threes,
dude.
went to the free throw line a ton.
It's unbelievable. And people are like, oh, he took 40-something free throws. Dude, to put up that many points, you have to take a lot of free throws.
Yep.
Wilt's 100-point game, if it happened, he took like 39 free throws or something crazy.
Yep.
It's just how it goes. But just nuts. The fact he passed Kobe,
Insane.
Wilt Chamberlain, Bam Adebayo, Kobe Bryant. If any player in his position towards the end of that game would have done what he was doing to get that record.
Yep.
Kobe shot 20 free throws for 81. That's Kobe, man. Oh, the Giants re-signed Evan Neal.
Evan Neal back to the Giants.
Oh, no.
Absolutely hilarious. I don't think our Giants guy Marshall is too happy about that.
Oh, gosh. All right. Let me take this down.
Yep.
Shout out Dennis and shout out, was it Dre, right? Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. Cheers. What is going on over there?
I have no idea.
Down the hatch.
Down the hatch, baby.
Niners should draft KC Concepcion. I like that. I like that pick for them, man. Interesting spot for the Niners in the draft. Where do they go? See who falls. I'm interested to see where Sadiq goes. Because I don't know what team is going to want to take him early. Carolina certainly could use a tight end. They could take him. I've seen some people say that the Chiefs could look for a long-term Kelsey replacement, take Sadiq.
Yeah.
Could he fall to the Eagles, though, man?
23. I don't think Sadiq falls that far. I don't think he falls that far.
I'd be shocked.
The last two tight ends who tested crazy at the NFL Combine or in the pre-draft, Kyle Pitts went number 4, Vernon Davis went number 5. I just don't see how Kenyon Sadiq, with how he tested at the NFL Combine, lasts until 23. I think he's too good of a player. I think with what offenses are doing, he's such a modern day fit. And I think teams look at him as just too good of a weapon.
Shout out to Jim Hicks coming in here with a 2. Do you think Howie will get Crosby? We'll see what the price is, man. We'll see what the price is. I'd be shocked if he stays in the Raiders. And it'd be a Howie kind of move to take advantage of possibly some lower value, but apparently the Raiders still want 2 firsts. And they can just keep him if they don't get it. 75 Dignan's in the building. I like Lomu at 27.
Yeah, good player. I think Howie needs to, or you're looking at Niners. I think the Niners need to get a Trent Williams replacement. Left tackle, left guard, center, all areas that they need to address.
Let the season start. Let his value go down and acquire him then. It's an option. Although, I mean, you let the season start. What if he plays tremendously out of the gate?
Right.
Then his value is not going down. Another $2 super check coming in on Eagles. John with a 2. Thanks for that. Thank you, John.
John Cottrell, or Cottrell. Hopefully I pronounced it right one of those 2 times, my man. $10 super chat coming in.
Boot got to me. I'll pop that up here in a sec, Dennis. Another 10 coming in. This one also from John. Here's a 10 from Dennis Designs. Dennis says, Chase, I heard you mention a fullback in one of your videos. Who was it, and will it be a focus this year?
Carson Steele.
Oh,
Carson
yeah.
Steele was the Chiefs running back / fullback who filled in for Patrick Ricard in the Pro Bowl after his rookie year in 2024. He's played running back and fullback for Kansas City. The Eagles signed him to, I believe, a futures contract after the season ended. So, in this new offense, these offenses, especially under Kyle Shanahan with Kyle Juszczyk, they do utilize the fullback position. And we've seen the last 2 seasons, Ben Van Sumeren, Kari Blasingame, and Cam Latu, that the Eagles have employed a fullback. So I think Carson Steele could be like a sneaky good weapon at the fullback spot. I really do.
John Cottrell coming in again, but this time with a $10 super chat. Are there any edge rushers in the draft, I think you're trying to ask, that are worth trading up for? Oh, my God, Clemson edge TJ Parker. No, not really. Not really. I mean, you're not trading up enough to get Bain. You're not trading up enough to get Arvell Reese. Outside of that, I mean, some people like David Bailey. but he doesn't really defend the run very well. Other than that, I don't know if there's anybody that you'd like be dying to trade up for, unless Bane falls for some reason.
Right.
Not that I can really think of here. I mean, Mesidor might be there for you at 23 if you want to go that route. Cassius Howell could be there at 23.
Yep. All right. Got that Facebook bullshit over with. I'm going to use the bathroom, and then I think we can start planning on some content to do here on the show.
Let's do it.
I think we've got enough buzz, enough talk, enough chatter, enough substance to do a Niners video and an Eagles video. So we'll do that once I come back. Let me use the bathroom first, and then we'll come back and we'll start to get into all of that. Chip will hang out with you, take some questions, take some super chats. John, thank you for that. 75 Dignan, I saw you sent one in as well. You guys are the best. We'll really get the show popping here in a moment. And then real quick, I saw some people making some purchases. They were flying in. Shanice Flowers got a couple of Howie season shirts. Awesome stuff. And that was the last one that I saw that I wanted to relate to everybody. So I'll be right back.
All right, couple super chats. A couple more super chats coming in. 75 Dignan with a $20 super chat. What would it have to look like for us to even have a shot at Maxx? Can you talk about what it might realistically take, or should we simply let go of that being possible based on what we've had to offer? So, according to reports, the Raiders are still holding firm on their asking price of 2 first-round picks. If that's what it's going to take, I'm not doing that if I'm the Niners, or the Eagles for that matter. I'm not giving up 2 firsts for him at this point. I think you can bargain with the Raiders given everything that's happened and the medical situation. I think he can be had for a first and a third. I mean, you give up 27, you give up a third-round pick. Niners got multiple compensatory picks. I think 3 of them in the 4th round. So give up your third-round pick. Give up 27. You get a player in Maxx Crosby who, man, would be a game wrecker from the edge spot. I think a first and a third at this point is kind of what it would take to get Crosby, unless the Raiders really are okay with holding on to Crosby, and it's either 2 firsts or nothing. If it's 2 firsts or nothing, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But if it's a first and a third, maybe a first and a third and, a future 4th or something, I'll be okay with that. But I'm not giving up 2 firsts at this point, given what just transpired. So it really just depends what the Raiders want to do. And I think the Raiders should still be willing to take an extra pick, an extra couple of picks. Maybe a young guy, maybe you give him I wouldn't want to give up on a rookie from this past season so quickly. Do you give up like an Alfred Collins or a CJ West or maybe like a Renardo Green so soon? I don't know, man. I don't know. Thank you for the 2075, Dignan. I think we got another one on Eagles here. Another 20 from John. Please wish my daughter Star a happy birthday. Her name is JC Rose. I hope I'm saying that right. JC Rose. Happy birthday to your daughter, to JC Rose. A big happy birthday to her. Hope she's having a fantastic day. What is going on in the Eagles chat right now? What is happening? Y'all want me to kick this Vasak guy? What's going on? Sorry, I got both chats pulled up. There's a lot happening. Oh, here we go. What do you think about this idea? Hurts and a pick for number 1 and Crosby? What are we doing? What are we doing? Not trading Hurts, man. It's not happening. Donald Knight. I think they go Omar Cooper, wide receiver, Indiana, round 1 for the Eagles, and then all offensive linemen after that. Be interesting. I love Omar Cooper, man. Kick them out. I'm not going to kick him unless he's saying some like out of pocket stuff. The only reason I'd ever kick you from the chat is if you're like really out of pocket. And saying some hateful stuff. Other than that, it's a free country, man. It's a free country. Mini for Crosby, I think a 2020, well, I think a first, 2027 second, and 2026 fourth would be fair. I think the Raiders would have to take that deal, man. I think the Raiders would have to take that deal. Can I hate on Dallas? Oh, you can hate on the Cowboys. Yeah, I won't kick you if you're hating the Cowboys. You're more than welcome. More than welcome to do that. More than welcome to do that. All right, let me make sure I'm double checking Twitter, make sure nothing's going on. Okay, interesting. So some Eagles news here. Dallas Goedert, his void date has been pushed back to Friday. Basically saying the Eagles now have more time to work out a contract extension with Dallas Goedert. So he's not technically a free agent yet. So Dallas Goedert's void date has been pushed back by the Eagles. This gives the team more time to work on an extension. He is not technically a free agent yet. So it seems like the Philadelphia Eagles want to keep Dallas Goedert and do not want him to hit the open market. So basically, they've bought themselves an extra couple of days here to work out a deal with Goedert. Interesting. Which also means they can kind of manipulate his cap hit. The dead cap hit, because he's not a free agent yet. Some smart stuff there from the Eagles. We'll see what happens. No guarantee he's back, but it sounds like both sides want to make something happen here. Very, very interesting. You saw that with Goedert? Yeah, they seems like it.
Did you just see that from Berman or?
Berman and then Garofolo quote tweeted it.
Okay.
Basically, they bought themselves more time to get an extension done. He's not technically a free agent yet, basically.
Okay.
To me, it seems like they both sides want to reach a extension deal.
I love that. Wait, so who was that from?
Originally, I saw it from Berman.
Okay.
And then Garofolo just quote tweeted it and said the Eagles have bought more time with Dallas Goedert.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's do this.
So it seems like they just didn't want him to be able to negotiate with other teams. Oh, interesting. So what I'm seeing here, Chase, is that by pushing back the void date, they don't have to eat that 20 million dead cap hit for the season.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's
So,
huge.
If he were to hit free agency, which would have happened today,
Yes.
he would have had a dead cap hit of $20 million.
Yep.
This gives them the chance to spread that cap hit out over a couple of seasons
Yep.
and work on a new deal.
Okay. Yeah, because he was not listed as a free agent.
Yeah.
So where'd you see that one then?
I've just seen some people saying that in the replies. That hasn't been like officially reported, but Ben Van Sumeren didn't get a qualifying offer from the Eagles.
So he's a free agent.
Unrestricted, yeah. Woo-hoo. Team Italy versus Team Mexico in 1 hour.
Oh,
Shit.
I need U.S. to advance.
Another super coming in on the 49ers report. And on Eagles now. We'll get to both of these. First one, Deffy T, $2. Niners don't get good first rounders. Trade and get Maxx. Are you saying they don't?
Yeah, they don't
Pick the
draft
players,
well in
yeah.
the first round. You're right.
Hey,
You're right.
I mean,
So if you're not going to hit on first rounders, the last blue chipper that they got in the first round was Brandon Ayuk. Then Deffy T is saying, why not trade him to get Maxx Crosby, because you know who he is and you don't know what those first rounders are going to be, and there's been so many misses.
and then a 5 coming in on Eagles now. It's not that. Renan from Brazil. An Eagles fan from Brazil. What's more important? Edge, safety, or tight end? I mean, it sounds like they're getting Goedert back, so I wouldn't say tight end. I think they have more talent at the edge spot than safety, but also edge is a more important position. and they like to have more, plenty of talent at edge. You have Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt, but I think you prioritize edge, but you need another safety in there, man. Yeah, I agree. TDK, edge, safety, tight end in that order. I agree. Unless you can't keep Goedert. If you can't keep Goedert, then I would put tight end above safety.
Yeah.
Is there a Ronnie Lott in the draft? That's insane. The 49ers make a move. They brought back some internal guys. We're going to talk about that here in a sec. Brought back Tonches. Brought back Wallow.
Yeah. We'll get into all that.
Somebody else, right? Oh, they brought in Brett Toth.
Toth. It took me.
Can never say his name.
It took me
right,
like
dude.
12 shows to get the name right.
God.
It's so fucking hard.
I hate
because at first I was calling him Toth. Then I was calling him Brett Toth. Then I was calling him something else. And then people were like, Touth.
Yeah.
I think it was Touth. And then people are like, it's Toth. And I'm like, jeez. So hard. Okay. Let's do this. I think we can talk Greenard. And Goedert. And that be a show. So I'll just put some notes here. What's today? Wednesday? I'm losing track.
Yeah.
All right. Start off with some Goedert stuff. Okay. So that tweet from Berman's a good one. Then where'd you see the $20 million extension stuff?
Oh, with the
Goedert
kid?
thing. I know that McLean has talked about that.
Yeah, I just saw a bunch of people in their replies to his tweet talking about it, but nobody officially.
So by pushing back the date, they can spread out the cap hit if he leaves, but it also allows them to try to work out an extension.
I believe so.
Pretty much. I know Jake Rosenberg, who used to work under Howie, was sending out all these tweets and stuff.
Some of this void year stuff just gets.
The void year stuff's very confusing. I saw one reply, Eagles cheating like always. That's completely legal. It's just a way to manipulate the cap. Goddard stuff. On that.
Both fan bases right now, and Niners and Eagles, both say they just want Maxx Crosby.
The Sports Corner, can you replace Barrett Brooks on NBC Sports Philly? I interned for NBC Sports Philly. One of the reasons why I fell in love with broadcasting, actually, when I was 5 years old, was because of Comcast Sportsnet then, which is NBC Sports Philadelphia now. One of my first memories when we moved into my childhood home in Westchester in 96 or 97 was walking into the house, very excited because it was this big house and we had moved, and I was so excited about, obviously, a new adventure, right? When I was, at this point, 4 years old, 96, 5 years old, 97, I remember turning the TV on, and the first channel that popped up was Comcast Sportsnet, channel 35. And I saw these anchors on set talking about all these Philly teams. It was the local version of SportsCenter at that time. It was the same channel that was playing Phillies games with Harry Callis on the call. Swig it a log drive. It's outta here. They also broadcast Sixers and Flyers games. And their Eagles coverage was phenomenal. And this is when regional sports networks had just launched and the content was awesome. Remember Daily News Live? Remember Sports Night? Daily News Live was the local version of what, like, Around the Horn, PTI, and First Take then became and have become. And then Sports Night and Sports Rise were the early and late editions of a local sports center. How cool was that? You don't get anything like that now. Now it's doing what I do here on YouTube. But those shows were like on-set, high-level shows like a sports center on the local format. Now, I think that what we do is better than that now, but like back then, there was nothing like that. So I interned at NBC Sports Philly. If I worked there, I could make their YouTube channel extremely profitable. We would have a completely new content direction, but I don't think they'd be willing to pay me what I would demand or what I'm making here because they've gone a little bit cheap. Like, why would you get rid of Taryn Hatcher? Why would you get rid of Molly Sullivan? Why would you get rid of some of these really talented people who have been there? Derek Gunn. Some of the content's solid, but it could be great. It could be at a completely different level, but it's been watered down. It's been saturated. It's been taken away. But there's a demand among Philly fans and sports fans for that type of coverage. And I think that they just missed the ball. They didn't capitalize on YouTube until late. So if anybody from NBC Sports Philly is watching right now, we could get that thing back and rolling. But I love it here, so I don't want to leave. Just launched the chase down, too. I'm very excited about that. All right. What do we have to do? Do we have to do a sponsor for this video?
Merch.
Merch. Oh, let's go.
Jay Sid, $5. Great job, guys. Howie still should have gotten Chubb. Got paid pretty decently, man. What was it, like 3 for 52?
Yeah, good money, man. Good money. But if they trade for Jonathan Greenard, younger, healthier, better player. John Galt, how's the eye doing, Chase? So I was doing a walk-home video last night. This massive bug flew into my eye and almost went into my eye. And I'm like really sensitive with my eyes. That's where I wear like blue light glasses, and I got baby blues, man. They get red really easily. Just very sensitive with the eyes. And this bug damn near flew in my eye. I got home and the bug was like smattered on my face. I was like, that thing really flew into me hard. What's up, Marsh? Oh, okay. What do you like? You got the same layout, right? Are you trying to change yours? No. Yeah, but it's always vertical. I never go horizontal. Yeah. But yeah, like my set was like yours where I was standing over here facing that way, but then we moved it around so that we could have more room for that and then that. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I also want to get this painted to the right because I'd like to do like content in front of the Hertz and the Montana one, sitting on like this high chair. I think that could look cool, but yeah, I like how the Raiders backdrop is there. Jay Sid, $5 super chat. Great job, guys. Howie still should have gotten Chubb. Yeah, we talked about that.
Let's see. Carol Hosey coming in with a 5.
Carol Hosey. All right. I think we're good to roll with this Eagles, man.
Let me see. Yep. It's 5:15. Yep.
We'll talk Goedert. We'll talk Greenard. We'll talk Bradley Chubb. And don't worry, Niner fans. We'll do a video on that side as well.
Let me just send a message here.
Fire Crew Dave, $5. Charlie O'Solja. You just love the Eagles a minute, Chase. I mean, I grew up in Philly, but we're answering super chats and questions on both sides here. And then we could go top free agents left after Chubb.
Cool. Yeah, I just got that in there.
Yeah, sweet.
Alrighty. Carol, thank you for the 5. Best in the business, not even close. Thanks for everything this week. Love y'all. Carol, we love you.
Carol.
Another 5 coming in on the 49ers report. The David Thomas. Not just David Thomas. The
Should we grab Greenlaw, or is the injury bug too much to gamble on? I wouldn't hate it. It's definitely a lot to gamble on, reuniting with Dre Greenlaw, but you know what you're getting. And if he could just stay healthy for 1 year, my gosh, what an acquisition that could be. playing alongside Fred Warner. Here's the problem. He hasn't been healthy since 2023. It's an issue. Really throughout his career, that's been the MO on him. Since getting taken out of Arkansas, I think in the 5th round by the Niners. He's always been an injury-prone player. But even if he gives the Niners, 12 games, it's probably better than what they were getting from the backer spot last year. We could talk more about that with this next Niners segment that we'll do. All right, let's see. All right. We good to rip this?
Yep, just making sure we got people on this. I think we're good to go, and then
Cool.
just
Yeah, we'll get it
sure.
figured out.
But, we're gonna run it. Alrighty.
All right. Let's do it. All right. Here we go. Our coverage during NFL free agency rolls on, and there's a lot to talk about on another edition of Philadelphia Eagles Now. Welcome into the show, everybody. My name is Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for watching this video. And you know the drill. Another reminder, if you want nonstop Eagles coverage every single day, year-round, I'm always bringing the heat. Don't forget to lock us in and hit that subscribe button. Have a Dallas Goedert update that I want to pass along to the people. And there are a couple of interesting things on this front. The Philadelphia Eagles just put out a list of their free agents. Dallas Goedert is not on that list. And there's a reason behind that, because the nuances of his contract, very interesting. And this all goes back to last year, when Philadelphia was trying to figure out whether or not to move off of Dallas Goedert, maybe trade him, or bring him back. And they ended up bringing him back on that rework deal. But in the intricacies of that contract, there was fine print, which brings us to where we are right now. And Zach Berman put this tweet out a little while ago, doing a great job covering the Eagles for The Athletic. He joined us. Thank you so much for your time, Zach, during NFL Combine Week. And he's one of the more tapped in, plugged in, knowledgeable Eagles reporters on the beat. And he tweeted this out, that Dallas Goedert was not listed as a free agent by the Eagles or the league. His void date has been pushed back to Friday, as we record this on Wednesday, March 11th, day 3 of NFL free agency. This procedural move would give both sides a chance to work out a contract extension. And you think about where Goedert is right now, his market. His external options are a little bit limited. And the market isn't that vast as far as the dollar value for tight ends. Not a fantastic tight end free agency class. It's a solid tight end draft class. But that is factoring into why Goedert has not signed with the team yet. And in turn, I think this is pretty good news for Philadelphia because they might be understanding here, we could get Goedert back at a pretty damn good price. So some of the tight end contracts that have been signed aren't really and haven't been working in Goedert's favor. Cade Otton got $30 million over 3 years. Chig Nwankwo also reportedly signed for about $10 million per year with the Washington Commanders. Cade back to the Buccaneers, by the way. So with Goedert right now, I think he's looking realistically at a contract that could be between $8 and $12 million. He did have to take a little bit of a pay cut in 2025, and he ended up having a career season. But it could make the most sense for both sides to just get a deal done. Goedert fits the scheme, knows what the Eagles expect of him as an organization, has a great rapport with the quarterback in Jalen Hurts. He's been with this organization since 2018. He's one of the best tight ends in the history of this team. He has been such a marquee player in the NFL playoffs. He's come through in some really big games. He's been a part of an organization that's been to 2 Super Bowls. He helped the Eagles win one in 2024. Plus, he was excellent last year. And when he's on his game, he's a great blocker. Last year he wasn't. Needs to improve there if he comes back. He's a really good pass catcher. And this past season, he was awesome in the red zone. That's one of the few things that Kevin Patullo did a really good job of, was scheming plays that allowed Dallas Goedert to have an impact. Because prior to this past season, I don't think the Eagles used him enough in the red area. But he could be used as a weapon, whether it be a shovel pass, which Andy Reid made famous in the early 2000s, or it's him getting open on a route. There's also some fine print with the contract that if Goedert were to move on, the Eagles would be on the hook for $20 million in dead money. This procedural move that we discussed here could allow the Eagles to, of course, work out a contract extension, but also spread out that $20 million so that they wouldn't have to eat all of it for 2026, which would really handicap them from a cap standpoint. So I think there's some things that the Eagles are working through here, but I want Dallas Goedert back. The Eagles did make some moves at the tight end spot. I don't think it impacts their ability to retain Goedert. Again, you sign him for $8 to $12 million. I don't think that's a bad deal for Philadelphia. I think it's a good deal for Dallas Goedert at this point of his career. Is he going to have an opportunity to truly cash in like that on a multi-year deal with another team? Would he want to leave Philadelphia and have a new change of scenery at 31 years old? Of course, the injuries, a little bit of a concern for the Eagles and him, but he was healthy this past year. The Eagles last night did sign Johnny Mundt. This is a great signing for the Eagles. Played under Sean McVay, played under Kevin O'Connell. Sean Mannion played under McVay and O'Connell. The offense that he is bringing to the Eagles has roots from those coaches and those schemes. So Johnny Mundt knows it, and he's one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL. Last year, the Eagles really missed that type of presence. The Eagles also brought back Grant Calcaterra. He's a good pass-catching tight end. Don't ask him to block. He's not willing, nor is he good at it. But if your tight end room is Dallas Goedert, Johnny Mundt, Grant Calcaterra, and you draft a rookie tight end, That's a pretty solid room right there. Another player who I want to talk about, and I always love when we're early on this stuff, which we do a good job of here on the show, reading the tea leaves, having some foresight, being able to predict things. It's always so funny when people are like, why are you talking about these rumors? They never come true. Because I know this team really well. Once Jaelan Phillips signed with the Carolina Panthers, getting $30 million per season, the video that we did reacting to Phillips signing with Carolina also included me talking about how Howie Roseman should call up the Minnesota Vikings and he should trade for Jonathan Greenard. Going into free agency, the Vikings were in cap space hell. Over $40 million in the red. And because of that, they've had to restructure contracts. They've had to extend players. And then today, they released 2 defensive linemen, former Eagle, Javon Hargrave, former Niner as well, played with Minnesota last year, and the former Commander and Redskin in Jonathan Allen. Last week, the Vikings put Jonathan Greenard on the trade block. I like him for a couple of reasons. He is still in the midst of his prime. He's still young at 28 years old, going to be 29 in May. He is scheme versatile. He's played in a 4-3. He's played in a 3-4. He's a good run defender, and he's a really good pass rusher. He's also on an affordable contract the next 2 years. Now, it's at $19 million per season. Given what the edge rusher market is, where guys like Jaelan Phillips are getting $30 million per season, if the Eagles were to trade for Jonathan Greenard, they'd probably have to give him a reworked new deal, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to $30 million. So Greenard, the last 4 years, he was with Houston in that 4-3 defense under DeMeco Ryans in 2022 and in 2023. He had the breakout year in 2023 with 12.5 sacks, 15 TFLs. He's a well-rounded player. Can get after the quarterback, cause disruption there, and he's good against the run. He gets traded to Minnesota. I believe that was the Danielle Hunter trade, and he had 12 sacks in 2024. He was a little bit injured last year, nothing all too serious, but he had 3 sacks, still had 10 TFLs. The pressure numbers were solid. The Pro Football Focus numbers were really good. Added 12 quarterback hits to that, and is a well-rounded player who I think would fit this defense really well. And as we know, Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt are the only 2 edge rushers under contract for the Eagles. And Diana Rossini had this report today. The Eagles continue to inquire about the Vikings' Jonathan Greenard and remain in contact with his agent about a potential extension if a deal were to be struck, sources say. Philly is also keeping tabs on the free agent pass rushing market after missing out on Trey Hendrickson. According to Albert Breer, the Eagles were interested in Hendrickson. So Greenard is a player to watch here. And you think about this from a financial perspective. They wanted to retain Jaelan Phillips. Jaelan Phillips himself is 26 years old. He's going to be 27 in May. Not much of an age gap between Phillips and Greenard. Phillips can rush the quarterback. He's also a good run defender who can set the edge. Same age, same position, but Greenard would be a lot more affordable. You'd have to give up some draft capital. I'm thinking a 2nd-round pick, maybe a 3rd-round pick. But I think that could be worth it for the Eagles. And even better, if Howie Roseman can work out a 2027 2nd or 3rd for Jonathan Greenard, I think that could be a really sound move for the Eagles. And it addresses a big position of importance by bringing in a really good player. And if Howie pulls that off, Howie's going to do it again. Where are we right now on the calendar? It's Howie season. That Reek Woolen deal, loved it. Johnny Mundt, really like it. Eagles needed a blocking tight end. If Jonathan Greenard is next, that would be another really solid move for Howie. And look, we just launched our Howie season shirts. We have sold about 10 of these so far today after launching them with our AM video. You can get yours now available in black and Kelly green at chatsports.com/Howie season. They're affordable. They're comfortable. I linked up with our design guy, Arnold, once again. We came up with this design here. This is the best GM in football. He's always making great moves, going all in to make this roster as good as possible. And the thing with how he sees him, you can wear this any time of the year because it's always Howie season. Chatsports.com/Howie season. An edge rusher who the Eagles cannot sign is Bradley Chubb. Signing with the Buffalo Bills today on a 3-year, $43.5 million contract. He got $29 million in guaranteed money. I thought that Chubb could be a good option for the Eagles, who, again, was in that tier 2, like Jonathan Greenard, not in that tier 1, like a Maxx Crosby or a Trey Hendrickson. And he could be very affordable. 3 years, $43.5 million. 29.5 guaranteed. So that is $14.5 million. Average annual value, 29 guaranteed. Pretty solid right there. The 49ers have traded for Osa Adigizua. We're going to talk about that in here in a moment as we're live. But let's take a look at the top NFL free agent targets here. Who could the Eagles be looking at? On this list, I don't think it's anybody now that Bradley Chubb is off the board. We flip the page. I don't think it's anybody on this page. A player I would really like, Jaquan Brisker. Really good safety. Jalen Hawkins also signed with the Ravens today. Kevin Byard, he signed with the Patriots. Kirk Cousins, Vegas is showing interest in him. Dallas Goedert, of course, that would be a big one. But those are the top available free agents. Cam Jordan could be a one-year player that could work out as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for nonstop free agency coverage right here on the show. I appreciate all of you for watching, and we'll catch you soon. How about this timing? Literally did a video on this earlier today. Breaking news! The San Francisco 49ers have traded for Osa Adigizua. A rare NFC rival trade where the Niners receive a really good defensive tackle and the Cowboys receive a 2026 third-round pick. I think that's fair compensation right there. This is a move that the Niners needed to make. Their defensive tackles combined for 4.5 sacks in 2025, and now they get a really good player. And for Dallas, they had a little bit of a logjam at defensive tackle. Cash money.
How are we feeling about this trade, Niners fans? Grade the Osa O Dig. Tough name to spell here. Izua. A, B, C, D, or F, let me know. Let me know. Spike an audience on Niners. Talked about this earlier. Niners getting aggressive. They gave up number 92 in round 3, but they do have 4 fourth-round picks. He just signed a 4-year, $80 million deal last March, but Cowboys got too much at that defensive tackle spot. He's a good player, man. He is a good player. It's a big get. This is a big deal and a big get.
Yeah, huge. Here, keep that up. I'm just going to do a short real quick. It's the 92nd overall pick for the 49ers. The Niners now have 6 picks, 27, 58, 127, 133, 138, 139. Osa Adigizua reaction coming up in a second.
You want to do the regular 49ers Report shirts for merch?
Yeah. How long is it going to take us to master the spelling of Osa Adigizua?
%55% A. Our poll question, 172 votes. Grade the trade. Go vote.
All right, keep that trade up there.
Got you.
Let's get the eyes cleared up here. Osa Adigizua traded from the Cowboys to the Niners.
Shout out Nick Harris, man. He was on that.
Nick Harris was on it. We met him at the Combine. Does good work for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Adigizua was a third-round pick. And the Cowboys, they have Kenny Clark. They traded for Trent Williams in the lead up to the deadline. Osa's a good player. He's missed one game in his 5-year career. And this isn't a free agency signing, of course, but it's a sound move. It's a sound, savvy move for the Niners. I really like it. Played his college football at UCLA. All right, I'll record this YouTube short, and then we'll do a full video on this on the 49ers Report as we're live right now. Continue to hang out here with us. Reaction coming. Boom, there it is. I talked about this morning, how the San Francisco 49ers had shown a lot of interest in Cowboys defensive tackle Osa Adigizua. We're live on the 49ers Report reacting to this trade because now it is official. This is a move that I really like for the San Francisco 49ers. Their defensive tackle group last year combined for 4.5 sacks. Osa Adigizua had 3.5 himself. He's going into year 2 of a 4-year, $80 million contract. And so the 49ers are going to be paying him an average annual value of about $20 million per season. But he's a really good pass rushing defensive tackle the Niners needed to clearly get better there. And he's pretty good against the run. And now their defensive tackle room is a pretty good one with Alfred Collins, CJ West, and Osa Adigizua. He's only missed one game in his 5-year career. The 49ers are sending the Cowboys a 2026 third-round pick at 92 overall. I think this trade is really worth it. Fits the scheme. Grade that YouTube short. A, B, C, D, or F. Got to be a one-take bandit out here.
Grade the trade. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. He's a really good interior defensive lineman, man.
All right, just sending out the Osa Adigizua reaction. And this is why you subscribe to the channel. We were on this earlier.
It's all day, baby.
All day, all day. All right, let's get into this. Osa Adigizua traded to the San Francisco 49ers. This is why you subscribe to the channel. If you ain't subscribed, you ain't alive. Yep, that'd be great. Yeah, let's do that on the back end. Just getting our graphics in line, and we'll break down this Osa Adigizua Cowboys-Niners trade. Definitely a move that makes the Niners a better ball club. All right, let's do it. Boom, there it is. We talked about this earlier today on the San Francisco 49ers report, and this is why you subscribe to the channel. The San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys have completed a trade, and it is a rare rival trade inside the NFC. And the 49ers have traded for one of the top interior defensive linemen in the National Football League in Osa Adigizua. The 49ers trading their 2026 third-round pick to Dallas in exchange for Adigizua, who came into the league at a UCLA 5 years ago, and since coming into the NFL, he has missed only one game in his NFL career. I really like this move for the Niners, and I was discussing this a little bit earlier on the show, looking at it from the Cowboys standpoint and the Niners perspective. Why would Dallas make this move? Dallas has a little bit of a logjam at the defensive tackle spot. They traded for Trent Williams in the lead up to the NFL trade deadline this past season. They also traded for Kenny Clark, who was a part of the Micah Parsons trade. Also of note, the Cowboys are changing their defensive scheme. They're going from a 4-3 base defense to a 3-4. So they had a collection of players at defensive tackle where they needed to figure out who is going to be the odd man out. And a big shout out to Nick Harris of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram for reporting on this yesterday, because he was on this very early. So that's why the Cowboys are making this move. Why are the Niners making this move? They need to improve their pass rush as a collective defense, but especially at defensive tackle, they didn't have an elite pass rusher from that defensive tackle spot. Osa Adigizua is that guy. He's a little bit of a leaner defensive tackle, but that's fine. And now I really like this Niners interior defensive line room. You have Alfred Collins, who's 6'5", 330, unbelievable wingspan, came on as a rookie, progressed throughout his rookie campaign. In his debut season in the National Football League, he showed a lot of signs of growth. But he's a really good run defender. CJ West has some girth to him. He's not 6'6", but he's got really violent hands. He can throw offensive linemen out the club. He, too, is a good run defender. And I had talked about this last week, how the Niners clearly had a plan in place where they were building around their young bookend defensive tackles, and Alfred Collins, a second-round pick last year, and CJ West, a fourth-round pick. They let Jordan Elliott go. Actually got a decent bag following Robert Saleh to the Tennessee Titans. He'll be a backup defensive tackle there, good against the run. They let Kevin Givens go. It's been a journeyman fringe roster-type player for a reason. Decent pass rusher, but the Niners can get better there. So by trading for Osa Adigizua, San Francisco is bringing in a player who has been durable. He has stayed healthy. He gives the Niners what they need, an interior defensive lineman who can get after the quarterback. The 49ers defensive tackle room last year combined for 4.5 sacks. Osa Adigizua himself had 3.5 sacks. And he's not just a one-trick pony who can cause disruption in pressuring the quarterback, hitting the quarterback, and sacking the quarterback. He is a pretty solid player against the run. And you also have him under team control for the next few years. Osa is now going into year 2 of a 4-year, $80 million contract extension. And in reading the tea leaves, the Niners were clearly interested and willing to invest in a pretty expensive defensive tackle. They were interested in John Franklin Myers. He signed with Tennessee, got a really good payday. I think he's making $21 million per year. The Niners weren't willing to go to that level financially for John Franklin Myers, but I'd rather have Osa Adigizua than JFM. John Franklin Myers is going to be 30 years old in September. Osa Adigizua is 27 right now. He's going to be 28 in August. So this player is cheaper. I think this player fits the scheme probably a little bit better, although John Franklin Myers did play under Robert Saleh and is now rejoining Robert Saleh. He's a little bit younger too. And I think he complements Nick Bosa, Alfred Collins, CJ West, Mykel Williams. This is also a Niners team that finished dead last in the NFL in sacks last year. And John Lynch said it at the Combine. We need to get better up front. To the Niners' credit, they don't really invest in the offensive line. I hate that. But they are willing to invest in the defensive line. And don't let some of the numbers fool you with Adigizua. I know that the sack production, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, hasn't been that great. He's a disruptive player. He had 52 total pressures last year. That was 6th among defensive tackles. He had 20 quarterback hits. That was 2nd among defensive tackles. He had 29 hurries. That was 19th. He also had 17 stops. That's pretty good. And this came on 691 total snaps, 23rd in the NFL. That's the durability right there. And he graded out pretty well, according to PFF. In 2024, that's what led to him getting that contract extension. His pass rush grade was 78.5, 11th in the league at that position. Overall grade 68.1, that was 30th. Run defense grade 50.8. Again, not his biggest strength, but not bad. And then his numbers in 2024, very consistent with what he did in 2025. 60 pressures, 3rd. 14 hurries, or 14 hits, 4th. 39 hurries, 5th. He had 7 sacks according to PFF. They don't count half sacks. That was 12th at the position. 30 stops, that ranked 12th. This is a damn good player who the Niners are getting. And it's $20 million for this defensive tackle. Chris Jones is making more than 30. Milton Williams is making 26. Jordan Davis is now making 26. Jalen Carter soon will be making over 30. And Jeffrey Simmons is making a lot. And Osa is making 20. So for those of you who have been saying, I don't like what the Niners are doing in free agency, it doesn't just have to be signings, right? It can be trades as well. And this boosts the stock of San Francisco because it makes their defense better. And a player like this can help out your linebacking core. It can help out your secondary by getting pressure on the QB. So grade the trade here. A, B, C, D, or F. What do you think of it? Let me know. Let your voices be heard down in the comment section right now. We'll go through our Niners free agency tracker because the Niners have been busy making some moves internally and externally, also making this trade. But first, get a 49ers Report shirt. If you love the show, you want to support the show, rep the show, and rep the Niners. Plus, the logo is so clean with the Golden Gate Bridge on there. Chatsports.com/49ers Chatsports.com/49ers Get your 49ers Report shirts. Link is in the chat for the live show right now for our live audience. And we'll also put that link attached to the pinned comment and in the show notes of today's San Francisco 49ers Report. So here are all the moves that the Niners have made so far. Eddie Pinheiro, they locked up their kicker, who led the NFL in field goal percentage last year on a 4-year, $17 million deal, $10 million guaranteed. It's $4 million per year for a kicker who missed one kick last year. Good move. And that puts him like 14th or 15th on the list of highest paid kickers. Mike Evans, 3-year deal up to 60.4. It's $16 million in guaranteed money. That deal is a steal if he could stay healthy, and he fits the scheme really well. Vidarian Lowe, 2 years, 9.25, $5.75 million in guaranteed money. That's a swing tackle who can play left tackle, right tackle. Filled in pretty nicely last year for Will Campbell with New England when Will Campbell got hurt. He's got a lot of starting experience, and he's played solid ball. He's a backup. You don't want him as a long-term starter. It'd be a disaster if you were the Trent Williams replacement, but that was a position that the Niners needed to address. Garrett Wallow, who played great in that wild card round matchup, upset against the Eagles, being brought back to the Niners on a 1-year deal. Linebacker depth, good athlete with good range. Brett Toth, 1-year deal. We'll see what the exact money is, but 95% of his contract is guaranteed. He could play center. He can play guard. In college, he played a little bit of tackle. He graduated from the United States military service, where he was a second lieutenant in the Army and played football at Army. He can get out in space and run. His run blocking grade last year with the Eagles is really good, made 4 starts. Positional versatility, he'll have an opportunity to start at left guard. Jake Tunchess, 2-year, $8 million deal, $5.5 million in guaranteed money. The Niners got this move done right before the restricted free agency deadline there. And for Tunchess, good developmental story. He played really well. He's a really good pass catcher with a lot of talent. He will be relied upon early in the year because George Kittle is coming off that torn Achilles. Not that great of a blocker. There's some room for him to grow there. How does he continue to develop with the Niners losing their tight ends coach, who became the Seahawks offensive coordinator, and Brian Fleury is going to be calling the plays for Sam Darnold and the defending Super Bowl champions. But I really like Jake Tunchess as a player. Tall, long, runs well, good hands, has a good rapport with Brock Purdy. Also, Osa Adigizua traded to the Niners. And then this kind of fell under the radar with Sam Okuwanu. He has signed his 1-year exclusive rights tender per the team. He could play defensive end. He could play defensive tackle. From undrafted free agent to a solid depth piece for San Francisco. Those are the moves that the Niners have made, but the most recent one, trading for Osa Adigizua. All right. If you're just joining the show, Osa Adigizua to the 49ers. Why don't you show some highlight tape, Chase? Because if that happened, the channel would get taken down. All of that stuff is illegal, and you can't monetize on it.
We would be taken down.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen. All right. I think we're good to sign off here. Did that Eagles segment, did that Niners segment. Sneakily been live for 2 hours, 23 minutes. I don't know if we're going to get too much more breaking news, but we'll certainly see. Lyle, hey, Chase, how much salary cap money do the Niners have left after this trade? Good, solid trade. It's a really good, solid trade. Lyle, I know you were unhappy with how free agency got underway. Let's see here. So the Niners, as of right now, $16 million in cap space.
Ooh. Oh, shit.
All good. We'll sign off here in a sec.
All right.
Osa Adigizua. His cap number is $16.75 million. So there will have to be some finagling of the cap and massaging the cap. Once the Niners release Brandon Ayuk, there will be a dead cap charge, but that will open up some money. And then obviously there are other moves that the Niners can make to free up some cap room. Like Trent Williams has that cap charge of nearly $39 million. It's not going to play under that price tag. All right, everybody. Day 3 of free agency, live for 3 straight days. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. It is a blast being able to do stuff like this with a massive platform, and it's not possible without all of you. So we are going to sign off. If more breaking news happens, we'll, of course, talk about it right here on the show. For Chip, I'm Chase. We'll catch you tomorrow, day 4 of free agency. Content won't stop. Andrew Nathan, right before the buzzer, $5 super chat. What are you trading away for Jonathan Greenard? Pick 97. James Simon said his AAV on a new deal would likely be 25 to 30. And if we sign Dallas, I'm still drafting a tight end. So, Andrew, good question. I did a segment on Greenard just a little bit ago. That video is going to be up on the channel, or it might already be up on the channel. Let me check for you. It's going to be up here soon. It's getting uploaded literally right now, and it's about to be pushed. I said I'd give up like a future second, maybe a third for Greenard, and he's making $19 million on his current deal. He wants a rework deal. Understandable. I think he's earned it. I think he played really well alongside some of the dogs on that Eagles front. If you bump it up to 25, it's still cheaper than Jaelan Phillips, which I'd be fine with. Especially because it'd probably be on a rework deal where you know he's under team control for the next 2 years. If we sign Dallas Goedert, still drafting a tight end, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. All right, Andrew. Always fun seeing your replies on Twitter. Always great to have you in the chat. We're going to sign off here. Thanks for watching our NFL free agency coverage. Don't forget to subscribe to my brand new YouTube channel, The Chase Down. Launched on Friday, already over 2,000 subscribers. Going to put an NFL video up there here soon, talking free agency. I've got a video ready to go talking free agency winners and losers. So I might just do that but let me scour some of the things that have happened, and we'll revisit that. Go USA. Let's hope that they don't get bounced in the World Baseball Classic. America! Fuck yeah! But Mark DeRosa, what were you doing last night? Losing to Italy, not knowing the situation. Terrible, as Charles Barkley would say. All right, for Chip, I'm Chase. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Deuces.